LeBron James, isa sa mga pinaka-iconic players ng henerasyon na to. Sa 2022 to 23 season, officially, na-break niya ang all-time scoring record ni Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Throughout his well-decorated career, samot-samang praises and criticisms ang nabigay sa kanya. And that's normal. Kapag ikaw ang isa sa mga pinakasikat na atleta sa basketball, it's normal that people would find holes in your game. So for a player like LeBron na kilala as someone who can do it all, obviously may mga weak points pa rin siya as a player. Again, that's normal, especially ngayon na nasa last stretch na siya ng basketball career niya. Pero what if sabihin ko sa'yo na may version ng LeBron James na halos walang butas, almost perfect? So ngayon titignan natin yung panahon niya sa Miami Heat at alamin natin kung gaano ba talagang kalakas ang isang prime LeBron James. Okay, let's get the basics out of the way first. Si LeBron ay isang 6'8 or 6'9 na wing who can score, playmake, and defend. Actually, kulang pa nga yan pero mamaya na. Sa unang season niya with the Heat, first time niya sa isang setup ng team na may kasama siyang dalawang legitimate all-stars. Sa buong unang stint niya sa Cavaliers, siya yung talagang hero. Siya yung ultimate kargador, as in literal na buhat. Mula 2004 hanggang 2010, naglaro siya ng 548 games with the Cavs, in which he averaged 27.8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.7 steals, and almost a block a game. Sa 7 seasons na yan, nag-average siya ng 20.8 field goals attempt per game. Though sa stint niya sa Miami Heat, bumaba ng 18.2 field goals attempt per game. Konti lang ang pinagkababa, pero that's like a 3 to 6 point difference kung makakascore. Anyway, sa 4 na seasons ni LeBron with the Heat, nag-average siya ng 26.6 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 6.9 assists. Almost identical. Pero kung titignan natin yung shooting splits, ang laki ng difference. Halos parang magkaibang player na. So ngayon, tignan natin kung bakit at paano naging ganyan. At gusto ko mag-focus sa isang specific season. 2012 to 2013 season. Yung 2012 to 13 season ni LeBron, ito yung season matapos niyang makuha yung unang championship niya. Sa 2010 to 11 season kasi, yun yung infamous performance niya kontra sa Dallas nung finals na maraming nagsasabi na na-expose yung mga weaknesses ni LeBron as a player. So after that defeat, nag-workout siya with Hakeem nung off-season para trabahuhin yung post-up game niya. And then right after that, sa 2011 to 2012 season, nagsimula na yung legend ng Evil LeBron kontra sa Celtics. Finally overcoming yung team na nagpahirap sa kanya nung nasa Cavs pa siya. And then pagkatapos ng series na yon sa NBA Finals, nanalo ang Miami Heat kontra sa OKC Thunder. At ito yung first championship ni LeBron. Ngayon, kahit nasa 2011 to 2012 season siya nag-champion, yung sumunod na season pa ron, yung 2012 to 13 season, yun yung arguably pinaka-balanced na version ng LeBron. Hindi siya small forward, hindi siya point guard, hindi siya power forward, you get the point. He was just LeBron. Kung titignan natin yung points per possession rating ni LeBron sa mga iba't ibang plays, makikita natin na halos lahat very good or excellent. Ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin yung skill set ni LeBron. Unang pag-usapan natin yung scoring niya off the pick and roll. Early in his career, hindi talaga siya kilala as someone who can shoot from the outside consistently. At sa sobrang threat niya sa mga drives at sa sobrang athletic niya, opposing teams would rather design their coverages to force LeBron na tumira ng mga pull-up jump shots, especially sa mid-range. Sa play na to, it's a ram spread pick and roll. Chalmers set a screen for the screener na si Birdman. Hindi tama yung screen ni Chalmers. Now sa approach ng screen, nag-switch ang Spurs since it's a Diaw splitter coverage, parehas big man, so okay lang na i-switch. Pero makikita natin si LeBron gumamit siya ng left to right dribble to gain momentum and attack downhill sa drop switch ni Splitter dahil meron siyang athleticism advantage. And since si Chalmers isang 40.9% shooter sa season na to, nag-relocate siya sa weak side corner so hindi fully makahelp si Green sa drive ni LeBron. Easy layup. Dito same play. Medyo tumama na yung screen ni Chalmers. It made Duncan slightly out of balance and na-late ng onti sa switch. Konti lang naman. Pero that's enough to leave a gap for LeBron to pull up for an 18-foot jump shot. Sa totoo lang, kahit open shot to, ito pa rin yung isa sa mga best na mga tira na pwede mong ibigay sa mga player kagaya ni LeBron. Kasi kapag nag-go over ka at walang hedge, straight line drive lagi yan. At kahit sino pang ipa-help, most likely kakayanin ni LeBron yung contact. Play naman na to, inverted pick and roll, which means yung guard, yung screener. Nag-hedge ang Pacers para i-delay yung atake ni LeBron, para i-delay yung drive. Pero kagaya ng kanina, again, binibigay talaga yung jump shot instead of a drive. Dito, gumamit ng set-up dribble si LeBron to slightly freeze the defender for the jump shot. Same play, same coverage, pero instead of settling, nag-size up si LeBron para makakuha ng momentum pa downhill, sabay drive. Specifically sa season na to, 52.9% shooting si LeBron sa mga drives. That's 153 makes out of 289 attempts. Grabe. And most of the time, which is 53%, pakaliwa yung drive niya. Actually, mas efficient siya pakaliwa kaysa pakanan. In terms of dribble jumpers naman, he shot 41.1%, which is also good. Not great, pero good. Almost 1 point per possession pa rin yun. Kahit na yun yung binibigay, nakakapag-take advantage pa rin sa LeBron. Okay, next, pag-usapan natin ay yung playmaking ni LeBron. Kapag napag-uusapan yung playmaking ni LeBron, laging nami-mention ay yung vision niya. Pero ako, since curious ako, napatanong ako kung ano yung sinasabing vision. Ano yung tinitignan pag sinasabing vision. So while watching the clips, nag-focus ako sa kung ano yung tinitignan niya at kung kailan nagsascan siya ng court. Napansin ko kay LeBron, maaga siya mag-scan ng court. As we can see here, heads up si LeBron, half court pa lang. Tumingin siya saglit sa weak side corner at nakita niya si Gary Neal na nagpapakita ng intent to help kapag dumrive siya. And then si Bosh naman, pumunta sa picture, pumunta sa paint, and that forces Neal to sink even deeper. Cross-court LeBron papunta sa weak side corner, Wade scores. Same dito, half court pa lang nagsascan na. Again, si Gary Neal nagpapakita ng intent to help, just in case dumrive si LeBron. Quick drag screen, drive middle, tapos ayan, nag-commit na ng fully si Gary Neal, leaving Battier open sa weak side corner. Sa play na to, isolation, weak side is filled, Bosh sa dunker spot. Sa setup dribble pa lang ni LeBron, makikita na natin na heads up siya and he probably saw the weak side. Again, si Gary Neal nagpapakita ng intent to help. So ngayon si LeBron dumrive papunta kay Gary Neal. That forces him to help. Sabay kick out sa corner. Speaking of weak side, great way to occupy the helper is to set a ramp screen, kagaya nito. Chalmers sets a screen for the screener. Now, since mula kanina pa, panay help yung nasa corner, yung simpleng screen na to ni Chalmers was enough to make defenders guess. Kasi as a defender, alam mo na nandyan yung bantay mo, may ginagawa, nagsaset ng screen, at pupunta sa corner. And alam mo rin na may spread pick and roll sa tuktok, so most likely magdadrive papunta sa'yo si LeBron. Now, this was actually good defense by the Spurs. Yung over and drop nila was angled perfectly and forced LeBron to take 4 dribbles sa traffic. Problema lang is that they can tag the roller kasi si Ray Allen yung nasa wing, di maaalisan yun. And it was Manu's job to tag Birdman, leaving Chalmers wide open without help kasi hinila ni Ray Allen palayo si Danny Green. So ganyan si LeBron sa mga half-court sets. Maaga siyang nagsascan, hinahanap niya yung mga weak points ng defense, at inaatake na yon. Then, if walang option, doon na pumapasok yung malakas na sense of space niya para mahanap yung mga teammates niya. So, dahil tapos na tayo sa vision at pick and roll ball handler, pag-usapan naman natin yung pagiging rollman niya sa pick and roll. Okay, sa section na to, may tanong muna ako sa inyo. Paano niyo mabibigyan ng downhill play si LeBron nang hindi niya hawak yung bola? Answer, tabihan mo ng shooter sa corner at pag-screenin mo sa ball threat. As we can see here sa simulation natin, focus lang sa strong side kaya 3 lang. Anyway, ito si LeBron, yung PF. Kapag yung ball handler at the very least threat sa opensa or shooter of the dribble, syempre ayaw mo yan na makapag-breakdown ng depensa. You'll at least throw a hedge. Kaso kasi yung screener si LeBron James. And once na maipasok na yung pasa sa rolling na LeBron, 2 versus 1 na to. Most people would say na, di mag-help ka na lang. Pero sa Miami Heat matalino sila eh. Lagi nila nilalagyan ng shooter kagaya nila Mike Miller at Ray Allen yung strong side corner. So now, choice ng defender is to either let LeBron drive for a 2-pointer or mag-iwan ng elite shooter for a 3-pointer. Sa play na to makikita natin Chalmers, a 40% 3-point shooter nung season na to. Screener, si LeBron. Nag-drop si Kawhi dito. His job is to contain both the drive and the roll. Katulong niya supposedly is the corner guy. Normally sa mga ganitong coverages, mag-help ng onti rito yung corner. Ang tawag doon is tagging the roller. They do that to delay the roll. Pero since si Mike Miller yung nasa corner, hindi maiwan ni Gary Neal. Same dito kay Ray Allen. But what if tanggalin natin yung option ng help totally? Now, dito na papasok yung empty side ball screen. As we can see here, empty corner to, which means yung closest help defender is galing pa sa weak side sa ilalim. And with a player like LeBron, kahit slight advantage lang okay na. And that makes this play so lethal para sa Miami Heat. Kasi being 6'9", 250, that's basically a small ball big na kasing mobile ng isang gwardya. And yung athleticism, diba, one of the best ng mga panahon na to. Though minsan if merong kasabay na non-shooting big sa LeBron sa court, yung mga teams okay lang sa kanila na yung help side defender ang sumabay dun sa drive. So ang counter dito is what we call occupying the tagger or the helper, which basically means magagawa ka ng action sa weak side just to delay the help. Kasi ino-occupy mo yung atensyon ng tagger. Kagaya dito, this is objectively bad spacing and wala rin namang ganung masyadong nangyayari dun sa weak side. Pero in reality, ang nangyari talaga doon is kunin yung atensyon na mag-help supposedly doon sa drive ni LeBron. So that's what we call occupying the tagger. Now, pag-usapan natin yung defense ni LeBron. Ngayon, may reputation si LeBron na tamad ng dumipensa. Pero nung prime years niya, especially sa Heat, he was a versatile defender. He was decent on ball, off ball, and as a helper. So 2012 to 13 season, nag-average siya ng 1.7 steals at 0.9 blocks. Yung steals ni LeBron, kung paano niya nakukuha, napansin ko, is mostly him being able to read the floor well. Sa play na to, nasa weak side corner si LeBron. Nag-pick and roll ang Spurs, depass it to the wing para makahanap ng better passing angle as a counter dun sa hedge ni Bosh. Green drives, na-force si Bosh mag-help, and tignan nyo si LeBron. Napansin niya agad yon and immediately rotated to tap the ball away from Tim Duncan. Again dito, spread pick and roll, nasa weak side si LeBron as the helper and he played the lanes correctly. Kasi usually ang role talaga ng weak side corner is to be the helper or yung tagger na tinatawag. Diba? Dito kasi ito yung mga plays na mas nangyayari siya because of his IQ and feel for the game rather than pure athleticism. Even sa mga blocks. And we can argue na grabe naman kasi talaga yung athleticism ni LeBron, which is true at malaking tulong yon. Pero let's ask this question first. Hanggang saan ka dadali ng athleticism kung laging wala ka sa posisyon para ma-utilize yun? And that's LeBron for you. He uses his IQ to put himself in the best possible scenario para magamit niya yung athleticism niya. So gaano ba talagang kalakas ang prime LeBron James? Sa totoo lang, mahirap sagutin ng black and white answer. Si LeBron kasi hindi siya best sa nag-iisang bagay, pero one of the best siya sa lahat ng bagay. And yung 2012 to 13 season niya was the year na lahat ng yon he excelled. He was able to score in 3 levels, he played multiple positions, he defended, and he led his team to a championship. Kung may perfect basketball player in terms of skill set, this version of LeBron is the closest one we'll ever see sa generation natin. And we can argue all day about our subjective opinions tungkol dito, pero there's one thing that's objective. Yung numbers. Numbers don't lie. And the numbers suggest that the specific LeBron season was close to perfect.